Hi guys! So welcome back to the Yoga Shack. Today we're going to be doing some breathing, pranayama exercises. So just have a little water nearby, just in case you feel like dried out from any of it. You can have a drink. All right. So let's begin in a seated position. You can sit on a cushion or a block, just something comfortable to elevate your pelvis a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's start laying down today. So let's just get on the back and get comfortable. So when you lay down, you can have your feet on the floor, your knees bent, your arms at the sides, or if you're comfortable and your low back is feeling like straight legs would be okay, just go for it. Let the legs straighten out. And then let your eyes close and feel the full weight of your body on the floor being supported, held up by the earth. Let your hands empty. Let the hands relax. Let all the fingers just do that natural inward curl. And feel the thumbs relaxing. And that spreads right up into your forearms, letting your forearms release. Relaxing your elbows, your upper arms, and then feel the shoulders, this mystery of the shoulders, all the stuff we put on our own shoulders, letting it go for just this stretch of time. You can take it back up after your practice if you really want to, but otherwise, just let the shoulders relax. Let them empty as well. Empty hands, empty shoulders. Allow your neck to relax. And then coming up to your face with your awareness, see if you're holding on to any expression. Notice if there's any holding in your forehead that you're ready to let go of. And then shifting your awareness down into your torso, your chest, your upper back, relaxing the best you can. The belly, the low back. And notice how your hips feel today, how your knees feel, your ankles, and your feet. Noticing any sensations in the soles of the feet, the palms of your hands, any tingling or pulsation. And welcome all these sensations as just signs of the body properly going about its business, properly sustaining you. And so now drawing the knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a hug. And rolling over onto your right side and using the left hand pressing into the floor, coming on up. And now let's sit. So coming onto your cushion or your block or your bolster, whatever you're going to sit on here, get yourself comfortable, fully upright position, and let your eyes close. Feeling the upright position, how that changes the whole nervous system, just bringing the body upright. It allows the mind to have this awake alertness to it. On your next inhale, drawing the arms up overhead, bring the palms together. Exhaling, drawing down. And let's do 2 more like that. Inhaling, arms out to the side, all the way up. Exhale, draw down. And on this third one, we inhale up. And then as you exhale and draw down, let the right hand swivel on top of the left hand. Drop the shoulders down, relax the jaw. Go within and see how you want to dedicate this practice, or what's your intention for yourself today? What's your intention? Linking your energy to your life, your will to your practice. And then bringing the palms together in front of the heart center, and let the thumbs make light contact with the sternum. Sending that intention deep into the heart center. And let's begin with an Om. Om. Namaste. All right, good. So now let's come down onto the back again. Coming down, placing the feet on the floor. They're about hip width apart. Arms can relax out at your side. And then begin to allow the knees to start to drift side to side, just like windshield wipers. Side to side. Good. Taking the knees in towards the chest. And we're going to roll side to side, like all the way over onto one side and then all the way over onto the other side, so that you feel the entire surface of the back of the body getting a little massage from the floor, a little reassurance. It's kind of like letting the earth come up and give you a little pat and say, it's okay, it's okay, I gotcha, I gotcha. Good, and now raising the hands and the feet up towards the ceiling and just circle the wrists, circle the ankles. Going one way and then the other. Breathing. Good. Good, and then shake it out. Shake out the hands, shake out the feet. Take a big exhale here. One more. Nice. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Big hug. Keeping the right knee in towards the chest. The left leg extends out onto the floor. And now letting this right leg begin to be passed side to side by your arms. Inhaling, leg out to the right. Exhaling across to the left. And then begin to take it around into a circle, guiding it with your hands. The leg is really passive. The leg is just going along for the ride while the arms do the work here. And let's go the opposite direction. A couple times. And then hug the knee back in towards your chest. And release that leg all the way out and slide the left leg in, hugging the left leg in. And let's go side to side again. One side, other. Good. Good. And then take it into a circle, breathing as you go around. Sweeping the leg around. And again, this leg is just having a nice ride here. My arms are doing the work. Opposite direction. Yeah. And then coming back to center, hugging this leg in. And then releasing that leg all the way out. Slide the right leg back in. So we're going to hold on to the right leg with the right hand. Left hand coming behind your head. On your exhale, scooping the head up towards your knee as if the forehead could meet the knee. It doesn't have to. It's just that intention. And then placing it back down. The head comes back down. The leg releases out a little. And we do that again. Just exhale and scoop up. And inhale, come down. And then again, exhale, scoop up. The hand is helping out behind the head. Inhale, back down. Release the leg all the way out. And the left leg comes in. Right hand behind the head, left hand on the left leg. We're going to inhale here, exhale and scoop up. Inhale down, exhale up, inhale down. And last one, exhale, scooping up. Inhale down, placing your foot on the floor. Both feet come back to the floor. You can do a little windshield wiper side to side with the knees. Good. Bring the knees back to center. Bring the palms together, rubbing the hands together. Shaking the hands out a little bit. We're going to do a forehead pull. So if you're not comfortable with like touching your face right now, you know, like you feel like your hands aren't clean enough for it, you can do this right above the skin of the forehead. If you're okay with it, just bring your fingertips right to the center of the forehead and pull outwards towards the temples. And we're just going to do that a couple times. Inhale as the fingertips are towards the center. Exhale as you pull out towards the temples. We'll do that one more time. Pulling out, opening up the forehead. Oh, good. And then bring your hands around to the back of your neck. Just massaging the back of the neck, however it would feel good to you. You can swipe it side to side. You can knead it like you're squeezing your hands in on it. Just let it feel good. Massaging the back of the neck. These muscles often get overworked as soon as we're like looking down, either at a book or a device, and we have the head pitched forward. The back of the neck is working that whole time. So here, let's give it a little relief. A little relief. Yeah. Good. And just let this feel good. Follow your intuition with this. Good. Good. And then we're going to bring this to a close. Oh, I love that. And then reaching the hands up towards the ceiling, we're going to let the legs lengthen out onto the floor. Hands are up towards the ceiling. And let the legs separate about mat width apart. Now you can do one of two things. Either let the arms just drop out into a T, shoulder height. That's a little easier on the shoulders. Or if your arms are up for it, you can take them all the way up overhead, reaching up to the floor behind your head. And then we're going to cross the left ankle on top of the right ankle. So again, you can have the arms out, shoulder height, if your shoulders feel better with the arms a little bit lower. And you can just have the lower half of the body doing this nice curve over to the right side. If your arms are up overhead, you can take the arms just a little bit over to the right side. So you have like a banana shape here. Good. So we're not going to hold too long. We're going to do this side to side a few times. So we're coming back to center with the upper body. If you have your arms overhead, uncross the ankles. Right ankle over the left side. And then upper body over towards the left side. And again, if your arms are out in a T, they just stay central right here. All right, let's go back to the first side one more time. Uncrossing the ankles about mat width apart. The left ankle crosses over the right ankle, upper body over to the right side a little. Good, and then back to center and right over to the other side. So again, that left ankle goes over to the left side of the mat, right ankle crosses on top, upper body arcs over towards the left side. Good. Good, coming back to center. Nice and even now. Draw the knees in towards the chest. And let's do some circles, circling these knees around. Breathe as you go. Good. Good, and go the opposite way. Nice. Good. And then bring both feet to the floor, crossing the right ankle on top of the left thigh here, letting the right foot flex a little. Right knee can open out to the side, arms relaxing at the side. So here you can stay right here with the left foot on the floor. If you want to take it further, only do it by the strength in this left leg. We're not going to be pulling the leg in here. We're just using the strength in the left leg to draw that a little bit deeper. And then release both feet to the floor. Left ankle on the right thigh, flexing the left foot. You can stay right here or bring the right foot off the floor. And again, just the right leg doing the work here. Good. And then releasing both feet to the floor. Let's do one more time to each side. Right ankle on the left thigh. Relax here. Or left foot coming off the floor. And then to the other side. Left ankle, right thigh. Stay right here. Or right leg comes in. Good. Bring both feet to the floor. And now imagine the back of the pelvis like the bottom of a plate. Imagine it all like round, the whole bone of the pelvis. And we're taking the edge of the plate and we're going to place it down on the floor, each in turn. So it's a pelvic clock. You can think of it as the face of a clock where you're touching down to each number on the clock, circling the pelvis. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry about it. You just rock your pelvis around on the floor a little. Movement is the key here. We're just bringing some movement into these muscles. Good. And then go the opposite direction if you're doing the clock. Up and around. Good. And then back to center. Draw the knees in towards the chest and let them separate up towards the armpits a little here. Oh, that's good. Rolling over onto one side, using that top hand, pressing into the floor, coming on up to sit. Good. Good. And then once we're up to sit, bring your hands behind you, feet up in front. We're just going to take the knees side to side, just like windshield wipers, side to side. Good. Rolling from hip to hip, side to side. And then if you feel compelled, you can bring the arms into it. So as the knees go over to the right side, the left arm would swing across, and then vice versa. Yeah. So you have this nice extension right up through the upper body here. Feeling the whole spiral in the spine. Good. Good. Next time you come over to the left side, place that right hand down to the floor and just look over the left shoulder. You have a nice twist going on. And we're going to swing around to the other side. Good. And placing that left hand on the floor, we're just looking over the right shoulder. Good. And then come back to center. Awesome. So now we're going to let both knees drop over to the right. And, oh, here, I'll mirror you. So we're both knees over to the right. And we're going to bring our hand to the left hip. So this hip that's on top. So you're really leaning onto the right hip here. And we're just going to press this left hip forward and then let it rock back. Good. So we're just doing this a few times, rocking it forward and back. Just a couple times. Forward and back. Good. Good. And then coming over to the other side. So both knees come over to the left and to that right hip. And we're just going forward and back. You can inhale as you come forward. Exhale as it drops down. Inhaling forward. Exhale. Maybe one more time. Oh, let's do one more on top of that for good luck. Okay. I do like good luck. All right, let's drop that down. And then draw yourself around into a table onto all fours. Knees are hip width apart, hands right under the shoulders. Again, shoulder width apart. And remember, if your heel of your hand is sinking below, like the ball of the fingers, the base of the fingers, place something under the heel of the hand to bring the wrists up a little bit. We don't want to sink into the heels, okay, of the hand. Okay, now table cat and cow. Up and down a couple times. Inhaling in one direction, exhaling the other way. And then coming back to center and letting the whole pelvis circle around in space here. Tracing a big orbit with the hips. Breathing as you go. And then reverse your direction. Up and around, gathering in some energy here. Back to center. Now let's go back to cat and cow again. So letting the whole spine arc up, the belly comes in towards the spine as you arch the back up towards the ceiling. And then as you open the belly towards the floor, imagine the spine nestling deeper into the body towards the front of the body, elongating the back of the neck. And just going back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And back to center, taking the right arm in between the left hand, left knee opening, threading the needle straight through, coming down onto the side, the right side of your head. And the left hand can stay right here on the floor. And you can wag your hips a little side to side. Just feeling that nice opening through the upper back. Good. And then pressing into this left hand, come back up into table. We're going to come right over to the other side. So letting the left arm reach through again, like threading the needle, coming right down through onto the left side of the head. Breathing here. And again, if you like, you can wag the hips a little side to side. Oh, that feels great. All right, let's come back up. Both hands under the shoulders. Good. And now coming down into a puppy stretch. Walking the hands out in front, the hips shift it back of the knees a little bit. Forehead comes down to the floor. And making your hands a little grippy on the floor so that as your hips reach back towards your heels in a very gentle way, you're getting a little more elongation through the arms, through the upper back. Good, and then walking the hands back in, coming back up. Curling your toes under. And let's go into a down dog. So for this down dog, just like always, remember it's the gentle practice. So we're going to come up with the knees bent, the hips tip back, the arms really reach up overhead, the knees are bent, the hips are reaching up on a diagonal, and the belly's coming towards the thighs. Yeah. And then you can play around with letting the backs of the legs lengthen, but think of the stretching the backs of the legs more like a yawn. Like you're stretching into it, the backs of the legs are inhaling, and then that exhale lets them bend again. So you do that a couple times, inhaling and letting the legs lengthen, and exhale, let them bend. Good, and then begin to pedal the feet, so you're bending one leg and bending the other, and then walk the hands in towards the feet. Knees are bent. We're coming into a forward bend, bent knees. Climb up the legs, roll up through the spine, come all the way up to stand. And once you're all the way up, roll the shoulders back a couple times. Roll them back. Good. And then roll them forward a couple times. Oh, it feels so good. Releasing any tension. Let them relax down. And now we're going to do a full arm circle. So we begin with the left arm, just swinging it forward and backward and forward and back. Finding a rhythm. And then letting it reach up towards the ceiling and then all the way back as far as it wants to reach. Just doing a really big arc here. And then take it all the way around. A couple times in one direction and a couple times in the other direction. Good. Good. Let it settle back down. Oh, it feels so good. Just let it shake out. And let's come over to the other side, swinging that right arm forward and back, and forward and back. So it's a really loose swing. There's not a lot of control going on in the shoulder. It's like this momentous swing. And let's let the arm reach up towards the ceiling and the back behind us, up. And then all the way around, all the way around. A couple times, and then a couple times all the way around. Good, and then coming down, relaxing. Shrug the shoulders a little. All right, so here, this is where the pranayams are gonna come in. We're gonna do a little breathing exercise called the breath of joy. So this, again, it goes back to my Kripalu roots like 20 years ago. I'll share it with you guys now. So it's a 3-part inhale and then a big exhale. So when you take that first part of the inhale, you're only coming in about 1/3 of the way. And then the next part of the inhale, it's 2/3. And then the third, it's 3/3 all the way inhale. And then a big exhale. All right. So we inhale through the nose. It's the arms too. The arms come in, out, in, and then the exhale brings us down. Okay. So it begins like this. Inhale, 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 exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, okay? All right, so let's do it together now. So it's a last one. Good. Bring the hands to the belly. Let the eyes close if you're comfortable with that. And just focus on any sensations from that pranayama. Anything that is happening here. Tingling, a coolness, a warmth, anything at all. The sensations will arise. Just follow them with your consciousness. Good. Now letting the eyes open. Separating the feet a little bit further. Bring the hands to the hips. And let's do a circle all the way around. Big circle. Trace it around. And the opposite way. Breathing. Yeah. And then maybe a figure 8. Tracing the hips around in a figure 8 so that the figure 8, imagine it being on the floor right under you on its side, and you're tracing around using your hips to draw with, and then reverse the direction. Figure 8. Figure 8. Good. And then bring it all back into center. Bring the feet back in so they're about 1 fist width apart. And we're going to do a thing called monkey hara. So it's another breathing exercise. With this one, when we exhale, it's through the mouth with a ha. I hope I don't blow out the speakers with my ha. Turn me down if you need to, okay? So it's an inhale at center at Tadasana, and exhale as we go to the side, make a fist and go ha, and then inhale back to center. Ha. Inhale to center. Ha. 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 Good. Now soften the knees. Ha. 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 Last one. Ha. Bring it back to center. Separate the feet a little bit. Soften the knees. Bring the hands to the belly. Close the eyes if you're comfortable with that, or just focus softly on the ground in front of you and reflect. What is that pranayama doing to you, to your psyche, your body? Feel the silence after all that ha ha ha. So notice if you have a pet in the room, sometimes they think it's great fun when the ha, ha, ha breaths start. And sometimes they don't like it and they just leave. So it's interesting to see. And sometimes they just ignore you. So take it all in, all of it. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the feet spreading out. Pressure from your body, sending your weight down through the floor. Good. Now letting the eyes open. Good. Let the arms drop down to the sides. The feet come in again. So now we're going to do a hara pull. So it's a lot like the monkey hara we did, but now we're pulling to the front and the hips kind of swivel forward and back as we go. It's called hara pulls. I always think of Ace Ventura, the pet detective, because he was always like, ha, ha. It's kind of like that, okay? So the feet are parallel, hip width apart. We reach forward as the hiney comes back, and then exhale with fists as you say, ha, and pull the arms in. Inhale forward. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Two more. Ha, ha. Awesome. Back to Tadasana. Hands back to the belly. Close the eyes or focus on the ground in front of you. And now remember, like we just did 3 pranayamas in a row where we're like, ha, ha, ha. If your throat feels dry, take a sip of the water you have close by. Just lubricate stuff. Where are the sensations now? If they're all up in your chest and your head, send it down into your feet. Where are your feet? Where are your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs? And then follow it back down from your thighs to your knees, calves, ankles, feet. Ground down with the feet. Imagine you have roots going right down through the floor into the earth, anchoring you. These energetic roots anchoring you down through the soil of the earth into the bedrock, grounding you. Feeling that security, that bond between you and the earth. Letting the arms drop to the sides now. We're going to go into an Utkatasana. Hands can come to the waist. Bending the knees, bending at the hips, keeping the knees pretty much over the ankles. They come forward a little bit, but we have this backward reach with the butt, and the upper body pitches forward slightly. Holding here. On your next exhale, push back up to Tadasana. Let's do that a couple times. Exhale down, hold, and then inhale up this time. Okay, one more time. Exhale down. This time the arms can reach towards the floor. Good. And then as you start to rise, let the arms rise. We're inhaling. Take the arms up, up, up. All the way through Tadasana, arms all the way down. Good. Stepping the right foot forward, left foot back, hands back to the waist. Bend the right knee directly over the ankle. So make this stance so that you can easily do this. Right foot forward. Yeah. Good. Turning the shoulders to face that right leg. And let's just bend and release a couple times. Exhale as you bend. Inhale as you rise. Exhale as you bend, drop the tailbone. So why I say drop is that the tendency is to not, the hip flexors on this left side will want to stay where they are. But if we drop the tail, we're asking these hip flexors to just get a little bit longer, a little more length here. So that's the idea, is that the torso comes totally upright. Good, let's come all the way back up. One more time, bend the knee. Hands are still on the waist. One point of focus with the eyes. And then release back up to stand. Ah, that's good. And then pivot around, all the way around to the other side. Crab walk your left foot out to the left just a little bit, a couple inches. Turning to face that left foot, bending the left knee. Right leg stays long. Let the tailbone drop. And then come back up to stand. Exhale and bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale and bend, and let's hold here for a moment. Drop the tailbone, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then all the way back up. Good, let's pivot around. Right toes out, left toes swivel in. We're going to come into warrior two, bending the right knee right over the ankle. Now let the arms come up. Exhale down, hands back to the hips. Knee can stay bent. We're just going to do that a couple of times. Inhaling the arms up. Looking out to the right. Exhale down, hands back to the hips. So when you inhale up, come a little bit higher than the shoulders. It's kind of like you're getting lifted. And then exhale. Good. Last one. Little lift. Exhale down. Lengthen out the right leg. Pivot around, left toes out, right toes in. Bend the left knee right over the ankle. And again, we're going to hold this so the knee is stacked right over the ankle here. Hands can start at the waist, and then inhale and reach up and lift a little bit higher than the shoulders. Exhale, back to the waist. Bringing energy into the core here, into this mobile unit, right? Inhale. Exhale. We're looking out to the left. Good. Couple more. Ooh, that left leg is so strong. Good. Last one. Exhaling the hands back to the hips. Straighten out that left leg. Oh, it did such a good job. We're going to pivot around again. Right toes out, left toes in. Bend the right knee right over the ankle. Right forearm comes down to the thigh, and left arm can be alongside the body. Side angle here. So the arm can be alongside the body. You can go straight up towards the ceiling, or even out on an angle if that feels better for your shoulder. Or you can take it into the full extension with your arm up alongside your ear. You decide what you want to do here. Let's do a few arm circles here. So if your arm is lower, you can do circles just pivoting in space here. If your arm is all the way up overhead, take the full circle around, the full orbit. Breathing. Going the opposite way. Good. We're going to hop up out of this. Just come back up to stand. Maybe not hop up. Slide up out of it. Gracefully rise. Turning the left toes out, right toes in. And let's come over to the other side. Coming down. Forearm comes down to the thigh. And again, your arm can be alongside your body. It can be raised a little to the ceiling, alongside your ear. You decide what feels the best here. And then circling the arm. And remember, the circle can be small. It doesn't have to be big. Breathe, breathe. You need that oxygen to feed this pose, to feed those muscles. Reverse the direction of the circles. Yeah. Good. Doing one more round. And then floating back up, float up. Both legs straighten out. Release the arms down. And now pivoting the feet around to the side, turning the toes in slightly, ankles out a little bit, hands to the hips. If you like to use a block or a bolster for the wide angle forward bend, just place it down now in front of you here on the floor. Make sure that your toes are lining up side to side, right to left. So you have one line here, hands to the hips, and coming forward with a flat back. If you feel your low back beginning to curl on itself, just come up. Just come up a little bit so that you can keep this back really flat as you hinge forward. And then the hands can come down to your block or the bolster, whatever you're reaching for today. The knees can soften a little bit more so you get a deeper crease in the hips. And then you just keep working the pose. Keep working the pose. Yeah, good. You let your hands come over to the right leg. And then your hands can come over to the left leg. And back to center. Heel toe your feet in. We're going to come into a more narrow forward bend here. So the feet keep heel toeing in until they're about hip width apart. A little bit wider than hip width apart because we're going to come down to a squat from here. Take a few breaths. And then on your next exhale, begin to let the knees soften, the fingertips or the hands come to the floor, come all the way down into a squat. If your knees are compromised, just come down to sit, okay? Good. And now we're balancing on the toes, letting the heels be magnetically drawn towards the earth so that the backs of the lower legs are really opening, but we're not forcing anything. We're not forcing anything. It's gentle. It's gentle. And then let's come all the way down to sit. All the way down, crossing the legs. So we're going to do a pose. It's a cross-leg pose. It's Sukhasana, which is basically like, you know, the thing that they have kids do, that crisscross applesauce. I haven't said that in a long time. But with the added bonus of, all right, we're going to fold in the right leg and then the left leg, the foot can slide under it. That left foot that's under this right leg, you can thread your hands through this calf and hamstring and try to pull your foot up a little bit so that when you look down from a bird's eye view, you can see a little glimpse of this left toe here as you're sitting. And just hang out for a second, find your full height. Good, good. Sukhasana, it's happy pose. That's how it translates, happy pose. So from here, we're going to transition around into a table and then make our way back into either a puppy stretch or a child's pose. So you can let the hips come all the way back to the heels for a child's pose. Forehead comes down. Or your puppy stretch, your hips stay up a little bit in back of the knees. Forehead is coming down towards the earth. Whatever position you're in, just have something support your forehead, whether you bring a block under it or you can make one fist pile on top of the other to support the front of the skull. So you can feel the back of the head releasing as well. Good, good. And now transitioning down onto your belly. You can make a pillow with your hands, one hand piled on top of the other. Forehead can rest on there so that you have room for your nose. You can either have your big toes touching and your heels rolling outwards, or you can separate the legs a bit and do a wider crocodile pose. Legs are separated and they just relax. Good, good. Feeling the full weight of your body on the floor. Good, and then bringing the hands under the shoulders. Forehead is still down on the floor. Slide the legs together. And let's come up into a cobra, rolling the shoulders down and back. And on your inhale, rising up with your head, you're still looking at the floor. The shoulders, of course, are rolled down and back. And then exhale back down. Good, and let's do that one more time. Reaching through the crown of the head, forehead is on the floor. Inhaling, rising up, shoulders roll down and back. Exhale back down. Excellent, excellent. All right, so then make that pillow with your hands again, one hand piled on top of the other, forehead is on there. Bend the legs at the knees and separate the legs about hip width apart. And then we're going to do some windshield wipers with the feet side to side. So they're just going to the right and then they go to the left. And you're letting your whole low back loosen up. You feel that twist through the lower torso, through the hips. If you have any discomfort in your knees while you're doing this, you don't have to go as far in either direction to get the benefit. All right, let's come back to center and then let the ankles cross and uncross a couple of times so they come in over the center line, switching which foot is on top each time. Just crossing and uncrossing. I used to do this move right here. I used to do this when I would watch TV when I was a kid. I'd be on my forearms and my feet would go like this. Isn't that wild? I say it's wild because it's a known thing to balance your energy, to balance your right and left sides. And like kids come to stuff like this on their own, just feels good. And they're doing basically energy medicine on themselves. It's great. All right, so now letting the legs straighten out, bring the hands under the shoulders, pressing up into table. Back to your puppy stretch. The knees come under the hips, arms reach out in front, forehead comes down. Lengthen through the upper back a little. You can even stretch out through the arms a little bit more. Walk your fingertips away a little bit more and draw your hips a little bit closer to your heels. So in essence, you're giving yourself traction from your fingertips through the base of your pelvis. Good. 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 And then let's come down onto the belly again. We're actually going to come down onto the side. So let's come down onto the left side. We're going to be propped up on the left forearm and the legs are stretched out here on the mat. So we have this curve through the body and hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch along the left side of the ribs, maybe the left side of the waist. One hip is stacked on top of the other. Don't let the top hip fall forward. We want one hip on top of the other. Drop the left shoulder away from the ear and just hold for a moment. Shiva's couch. This is Shiva's couch that he rides upon. Good. All right, let's come over to the other side now. Coming over onto the right side. You're on this right forearm. The legs are stretched out here. Good. The left hand's on the floor. And again, let the right shoulder drop away from the ear. Lengthen through the side waist. This hip is on the floor. The bottom hip is on the floor. And just breathe. Good. And then coming around onto your back again. And we're going to cross the right ankle on the left thigh. You can stay right here, or this time, if you like, you can bring that left foot off the floor or hug the left leg in towards your chest and do a little rocking side to side. Good. And then releasing your feet to the floor. Let the knees do a little shifting side to side. Good. And then crossing the left ankle on the right thigh, drawing this right leg in towards the chest, or you can keep the right foot on the floor. Little movements here. And then releasing both feet down to the floor. And again, you can do little windshield wipers if you like. Drawing the right knee back in towards the chest, the left leg extends all the way out. And just do this side swiping in the hip, side to side. And then we're going to let this right leg extend. So before we do that, placing the left foot on the floor, holding on behind the right leg, extending it out. Circle the ankle just a couple times in one direction and a couple times in the other direction. Reaching up through the sole of the foot. And then swiping the leg side to side, a lot like when we were here and we were moving the knee side to side. Now the leg is extended and it's a lesser swiping, but it's still a swiping. As the right leg moves out to the right, the left knee moves out to the left. And then as the right leg moves across towards the left leg moves across to the right. So you have this kind of action going on. Crossing and uncrossing. Good. Good. Come back to center. Visit the figure 4 one more time, letting the right ankle go onto this left thigh. And just for a moment, hug it in if you like. Oh, that's good. And then drawing that left leg in, left leg can straighten out. And we're just going to swipe this leg side to side a couple times. Come back to center. Place the right foot on the floor. Extend the left leg. Same thing on this side. As the left leg comes out to the left, the right leg goes out to the right. And then when they cross over, you really cross them. Side to side. Back to center. Crossing that ankle back on the thigh again. You can hug it in. Good. And now bringing both feet to the floor, the arms out into a T, shoulder height, picking up the hips, shifting them over to the right side about 3 inches, and then drawing the knees over to the left. And we can just let the head look straight up towards the ceiling, or you can roll it side to side a couple times. Go ahead, bring that top leg up. Bottom leg will follow. Both feet come to the floor. Shift the hips back to center, and then all the way over to the left side. Draw the knees up towards the right. Let them fall over to the right side. And the head, again, can just look straight up towards the ceiling, or you can do a little rock and roll side to side. Bringing the head back to center, shift the hips back to center. And then you can either place a bolster under your low back or even your hands under your low back. We're bringing the legs up into the air, just elevating the pelvis. Just a smidge will help. And placing the legs on up. So we're going to hold this for a little while. If at any time it no longer feels like the right thing for you to be doing, feel free to release. And you can just hug your knees in towards your chest and decide if there's anything you want to do before we move on. Okay? Remember, it's your practice. You can make it your own. That's like the advantage of doing your practice at home, that you really can go off on your own riff here and enjoy sprinkling in your own spices. Good. Your eyes can close, or you can focus on your toes in a soft gaze, trying to take in all 10 toes at the same time. And slowly drawing the knees in towards your chest and placing the feet down on the floor, shifting off of whatever support you had under your low back. And just staying here for a moment, holding here. Drawing your knees in towards your chest, rocking side to side, and seeing if you'd like to do any other poses before coming to Shavasana. Any other movements, anything else. And if your practice feels complete to you, you're happy with where things are at, ready for Shavasana, come right down onto your back. And you can place a bolster under your knees or a thin blanket under the back of your head, allowing your arms to relax out at your sides. Demo it. And your legs are a comfortable distance away from each other. And a nice thing to do too in Shavasana is let the knees bend a little bit, lift up, and then take all the flesh from your hiney and hips and just swipe it downwards a little bit so that you elongate the low back, and then let the legs lengthen out. And then you can readjust, wiggle a little bit if you pulled the skin too far down towards the heels. Wiggle a little bit, let it find its way. And then when the arms relax out at the sides, you can take the shoulder blades and just tuck them in just a little bit and let them slide down the back if that feels good to you. And then again, wiggle a little bit because we don't want to create this bowing of the back or lifting of the ribs when we let the shoulder blades slide in. We let everything settle towards the floor. Let the body settle into itself so that it's really relaxed. It's really relaxed. And once you're comfortable, allow your eyes to close. Welcome the veil of the eyelids over the eyes. Comforting the eyes and lubricating them. And also signaling to your body that now is the time to turn within. To allow any of these external trappings of the world that are always pulling on us, drawing us in, to allow them to take the periphery and allowing this bodily experience to take center stage. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Relax the sides of your head. Relax your neck. shoulders, elbows, forearms, wrists relaxing, palms of the hands relaxing, softening. Relax each finger, the thumbs, index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, pinkies, whole hand relaxing. Relax your chest and your upper back, letting your breathing become very quiet, just taking in what you need. Exhaling what you don't need. Relax your belly. Relax your low back. Soften your hips. Feel your inner and outer thighs relaxing. Relax your knees. Feeling your calves lengthening, softening, ankles relaxing. Soften your feet and your toes. Relaxing your whole body, every part of it in your consciousness and relaxing. Continuing to relax a little bit more with each exhale. And now, slowly allowing your breath to deepen just a little. And when you're ready, beginning to wiggle the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, letting your head rock side to side. And then when you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest and roll right over onto your right side. And just pause there, letting everything settle. When you're ready, coming on up into a comfortable seated position and sit on a cushion because we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. So just coming into a seated position in a meditative sort of way. Once you're there, allow your eyes to be closed or remain closed, finding your full height. And then taking the first two fingers of your right hand and drawing them in towards the palm, bringing the hand up towards your nose. We're going to take a normal inhale. And then as you exhale, closing off the left side of your nose with your ring finger and your pinky, exhaling through the right. Then inhaling through the right side, closing that off. Exhale through the left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhaling right. Exhale left. Inhaling left. Exhale right. Inhaling right. Exhale left. Continuing on your own, inhale left. The next time you exhale through the left side, letting your hand drop away down to your lap. Just breathing normally through both sides of the nostrils, right and left. Finding your full height. Notice the state of your emotions, the state of your mind, your body, and your spirit, your energy level, that unquantifiable place of yourself. How does all of it fit together right now in this moment? And now I'd like to do a hand mudra with you guys. It's pushpa puta. It means a handful of flowers. It's a really easy mudra. Basically, just turn your hands over, palms up, fingers gently, naturally curving in towards the palms, and the backs of the hands are resting on the lap. And you can imagine a nice big flower in either palm and another flower at the crown of the head. Any kind of flower you want, any color you want, any fragrance you like. You can fill in all the blanks there. It's just a flower on either palm and the crown of the head. And imagine that with each inhale, you're taking in light, light energy from the cosmos. You can even imagine like the stars pouring down their light on you. And you're taking that in, the warmth, the good energy, the joy, the peace, the deep quiet of space. With each inhale, taking that in. And with each exhale, sending it down through your body, down through the core of the body, to the roots, down into the earth. Each inhale, taking in from the cosmos. With each exhale, drawing it down. Right through the palms of the hands, through the crown of the head. Doing one more full round of inhale and exhale. Then bringing the palms together in front of the heart center. Feeling all that energy you took in as potential energy ready for you and your intention for yourself to use as you see fit. And let's end our practice here together with an Om. And bowing to the light and the shadow in everything. Hari Om Tat Sat. And to each other. Just you can picture all the people doing yoga with you throughout the ages. Namaste. Thank you for joining me here today for yet another gentle class out here in the Yoga Shack. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again in person, and I'll see you here next time, next week. All right. Namaste. Bye.